Greeting comic book fans and welcome to Dude's Comic Haul. I'm Jason and this is my weekly video where I share with you the new comics I picked up today and officially the best day of the week, New Comic Book Day. 21 books this week I picked up. It just seems every week lately it's a big week, which I don't mind. I love my comics, but you know, my wallet would like a smaller week now and then. But anyway, lots of books to get through. First up, we have Green Arrow, issue number 40. This will be the first book I read because Green Arrow is just my favourite comic book character. I think it's this creative team's last issue. I've been a bit disappointed with their run. They tried to bring too much of the TV show in too quickly, and it just didn't work. But I really loved the last issue, so I'm hoping this is going to end with a bang. Their run is anyway. We then have Saga, issue number 26. Love me some Saga. Whenever I read this, I go into my Saga bubble, and you know, I'm just totally enveloped and immersed in that world until I finish the book. It's just always a fantastic read. I thought the last arc started off a bit weak, and I think probably it was because it was going down an avenue we weren't used to seeing. But then I found it really picked up in the latter half of that arc. This arc has started off strong, super strong straight away, and just I'm really excited to get into this. On a side note, my wife doesn't really read comics, but Saga is the one book she will read. I got the trade, volume 1 in the trade, and she enjoyed that. She read it and she enjoyed it, and she's like she's waiting for me to get the second trade, which of course, you know, with me being out of work for a few months, that's kind of been put on the back burner. But yeah, that's the only comic she'll read. So if you've got any friends who maybe, you know, you might want to introduce the comics, Saga's a good place to start. We then have X-O Manowar, issue number 34. I love the cover. This is my favourite Valiant character. This issue feels a bit thicker. I don't know if it is, but I think they have that preview thing, that prelude for Imperium inside. I think that makes it feel thicker. But yeah, this kicks off the new story, Dead Hand, and I'm always looking forward to this book. Really great stuff. And Valiant at the moment, I just love that they only bring out 9 books a month, so it's like quality over quantity, and it really allows you to be able to explore all of their universe and be really involved. We then have Descender, issue number 1. I've never read any of Lemire's non-DC stuff, so I'm really excited to read this because Lemire is one of my favourite writers, and I do want to read more of his stuff, particularly his non-DC stuff, so I'm excited to start that journey here. Once again, Image do it, $2.99. The book feels super thick, so I don't know how many pages, but it does feel super thick. So Image, they're always great with their number ones, and they're always a real bargain, so I'm looking forward to getting into that one. We then have Future's End, issue number 44. Love that cover with Superman holding New York on his shoulders. That is just brilliant. Really looking forward to seeing that. I think this brings to a close this issue. If you're to believe the solicit, which often ignore the DC solicits, but if the solicit's to be believed, this is the end of the Brainiac part of the story, so I'm interested in how that's left. We then have All New Hawkeye, issue number 1, which I really enjoyed this, which I'm really looking forward to this, I should say. I haven't read it yet, so I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the previous series. It was funny, like, when I first heard they were bringing out a Hawkeye book, I was like, okay. He's one of those characters I've always liked as one of the Avengers, but he's not a character that I had a real hankering to read a Hawkeye solo series. But then, like, that series was so awesome. You know, you had Fraction, Aja, and Holloway, and they were just oh wow. Hollingsworth, wasn't it, not Holloway? Hollingsworth. They were just awesome. Produced this awesome book. It's sad that like the momentum that book had has really been hurt with all the delays, and that the first issue of this book comes out and we haven't had the last issue of that book yet. But that really, I think, changed Hawkeye in a lot of people's eyes, and they saw that he could be a really interesting character. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jeff Lemire is going to do with Hawkeye now. And I understand it's going to have both Hawkeyes in it, which is cool, because I really liked Kate from the previous series. I don't know if we're going to have Pizza Dog. I would expect we would, but we will see. But yeah, looking forward to that one. We then have Princess Leia, issue number 1. I can't remember adding this to my pull list, but I must have. But to be fair, I was tempted to pick up this week. So that shows you how great my comic shop is. They know what I want before I want it, which that's just some awesome stuff there. Like I say, I was tempted. The only thing that put me off this book was Terry Dodson's art. I'm not a big fan of his art. The things I've seen of him, I don't like it. I like the last thing I saw him in was Axis, and his art in that was a mess. So I kind of was a bit, Terry Dodson, I don't know. But it's written by Mark Waid, so it should at least be a well-written book. And, you know, there is some interesting stuff to explore with the character in the aftermath of a whole planet being blown up. So, yeah, there's some good stuff there. It'll be interesting. But we'll see. But, yeah, like I say, initially I didn't think, but it was on my order, but I'm not upset or nothing, because I was tempted to pick it up anyway, so it just gave me that nudge. We then have Imperium, issue number 2. Enjoyed the first issue. I really loved Mech Major. I thought he was fantastic, and I'm really intrigued to see where this series is going to go. We then have Batman Eternal, issue number 48, which I felt last issue was a return to form for a series that had about 3 issues that really weren't that good. So I'm hoping they're going to keep the return to form going as we cruise to the finish line. We then have Swamp Thing, issue 40. This is the final issue, sadly, of Swamp Thing. I'm going to miss this book because I really like my Swamp Thing. But them's the breaks. We have Justice League 3000, issue number 15. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if this is going to go straight into issue 3000. Justice League 3001, or if there's going to be a gap between the two books. I don't know, that'll be interesting. But I do like that cover, you know. You've got Wonder Woman saying to Etrigan, but this doesn't happen in the book, and Etrigan saying, since when has that mattered? And then Wonder Woman's going, good call. So like, yeah, a bit of humour there. But yeah, I've enjoyed this book, really have. I've really enjoyed that book. We then have RoboCop, issue number 9. This is written by Joshua Williamson, who is doing Nailbiter. He's also doing the fantastic Birthright. And I'm sure there's a third book he's writing for Image, but he writes this as well. And if you love RoboCop, and by RoboCop, I'm not talking about the TV show. I'm not talking about the sequels. I'm not talking about the remake. I'm talking about the original film. If you like that original film, this is definitely worth trying out. Last issue, Lewis was able to take down that criminal Killian. Oh, pardon me. And she was. People warned her that there's a certain way you do things now that she's been promoted, but she ignored all these people's advice, and she managed to take Killian down. But there's been a lot of side effects, like RoboCop's budget's been cut and he can no longer be repaired. His technician has been fired because she went into some file she shouldn't have to help Lewis get the evidence she needed. All these different kind of things, these kind of repercussions that Lewis didn't foresee. She was just so focused on taking down this criminal, she didn't see what would happen, what would be the consequences. And then to make matters worse, Killian escaped anyway. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we're going to go with it next. We then have Hellboy and the BPRD 1952. Really enjoying this book. It's a good introduction into this world. I found BPRD Hell on Earth a bit difficult to kind of penetrate, but this book, I'm connecting with it nicely. I think it's going to be one of those books that probably will be better in trade. So I am at the moment kind of contemplating, should I drop this? Like, I've only got 1 issue to go, but after that 1 issue, should I drop it and then go and buy the books in trade rather than buy it in, in single issues? because I think it's gonna be one of those stories that is gonna be better. But overall, I've been enjoying it. We then have Black Science issue number 12, which this book's just always good. Enough said. We have Doctor Who, the 11th Doctor, issue number 9, and I love that cover. So, we've been following this story with this company, U-Serve, I think they're called, and but the Doctor's been encountering them in the wrong order, and so so that's always interesting when they play with time like that. It's written by Al Ewing again, and his issues are always good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. We then have Doctor Who 10th Doctor Adventures issue number 8. I don't know how this one got an issue behind, because these two first issues came out at the same time. So I don't understand how that now that's one ahead and this is one behind. But this has been having a brilliant story with the Weeping Angels during World War One, sorry, in the trenches. It's been good. Really good. It has a classic Who feel, but with new Who elements as well. So yeah, I really like this. I think this is the conclusion of this story. So yeah, looking forward to this. We then have Avengers issue 42, which looks like a lot of bad stuff coming to Earth there, as they're looking to destroy the Earth. We have issue number 5 of Spider-Woman, new costume, new status quo. I like the last issue of this and how they set this up and why this change in direction, and I liked that. Spider-Woman's always been one of my favourite characters, and no, it's not because of the outfit. When I was a kid in the 80s, one of the cartoons I can remember watching was Spider-Woman, and so she must have been one of the first female superheroes I saw, other than Wonder Woman, one of the first. So I've always had like an affection for her, and I've always liked the character. And then when they brought her into New Avengers, I really liked that, and I liked the character and where they went with her. And so yeah, I really enjoyed her character, and it's great she's got her own series now, and I hope this does well. And it's like there's not many books left that like now. Like back in the day, if I liked a character, I'd keep buying their book even if it was bad. I'd keep buying it because I liked that character. I didn't want to be loyal to that character. But now, I find myself, as I get older, if a book's not good, even if I like the character, I'm going to drop it. Iron Man is a great example. It's not a bad book, it's just not a book for me at the moment. The way the story's going and what they're doing with the character, it's just not for me. So I don't read Iron Man. And I don't know if that's just because I've got older and I'm more involved, more about creators now, or if it's more to do with there's so many books that if a book's not good, you've got about 20 books that can replace it. So I don't know which it is, but I do know I'm changing my comic book buying habits. We then have Hulk issue number 12, which I'm bloody loving this book. Really surprising twist last issue, so I'm looking forward to seeing where that's going to go next. We got Iron Fist the Living Weapon issue number 10, which didn't we have one of these like 2 weeks ago? I thought this was like a monthly book, but anyway, I'm really loving this one. Like I've said, like about the previous issues, it's super cool seeing a book with a guy who does everything. He writes it, he pencils it, he colours it, he inks it. Seeing that total approach, it's just really interesting. And finally, we have Rocket Raccoon issue number 9. I'm in two minds about whether to keep picking this book up. I think it's been good, but I think the first 4 issues was the high point, and I don't think the series has kind of reached it. Since that first arc with the first 4 issues, all the other stories have kind of been like one and done stories or two-parters, and nothing leads into each other like those first 4 issues. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm in a bit two minds about this. But hopefully this issue is going to be really good and going to convince me to stay on the book. So those are my books for this week. I will be back, fingers crossed, with a review video on Sunday. I hope you've all had a great new comic book day and got all the books you want. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, give me those beautiful thumbs up. If there's any books you want to recommend, comments below. Please feel free. I've been Jason, this has been Dudes Comic Haul. Bye for now.